Hey, my name is Anastasia Young, and you're here watching my channel, Young Health and Fitness. Today we're gonna go over some lumbar mobility exercises. This is so important if you've been sitting at the computer all day long. A couple of the exercises we're gonna go over, you may already be familiar with, but we're gonna do them a little bit differently today. I first have to teach you about a very important muscle contraction. The muscle we're trying to target is called the transverse abdominis. It's a very low postural core muscle that needs to be activated most of the day. The problem is when we sit for too long, that guy shuts down. So how do we activate that one? What I want you guys to do is take your two fingers like so, and we're gonna place them on our hip points here. If we move in and down just a hair, we're gonna feel the activation of our core system. So let's try a couple different cues to see if we can get this guy kicking. First, I want you guys to think about fitting into a really tight pair of jeans. You know how you really have to corset everything together, squeeze your tummy organs inwards, and really get into that tight jeans? That's a really great way to get this activated. Another cue I can give is think about blowing out some birthday candles. If you put your fingers on your hip points and then blow, you should feel that muscle contract. All right, you guys ready to get started? Let's hit it.
All right, let's get started. First, what you're gonna do is you're gonna lay on your back, making sure you have about a fist width in between your knees. Our first exercise is the pelvic tilt. Notice here, I don't pick my glutes up off the ground when I'm tilting my hips towards my nose. As you tilt, breathe out as you bring your hips towards your nose and breathe in as you bring them away from you. Next is the pelvic clock. We're gonna start by going counterclockwise and then switch to clockwise. I want you to imagine that there's a bowl on top of your pelvis with a little bit of olive oil dripped inside. What we're trying to do is coat the bowl evenly with the olive oil. Now we're going to combine the pelvic tilt we just did previously into a Pilates bridge. The reason why this isn't like a normal bridge is because you want to articulate your spine one segment at a time as you're coming up and as you lay it back down onto the ground. A good visualization is thinking about a string of beads. Think about picking one bead up at a time as you come up into the bridge and laying it one bead down onto the ground at a time as you come down. We're going to end this part of the series with a stretch. This is called the double knee to chest stretch. It's very simple. Just hug your knees, and with your low core on, take your knees and bring them towards you. This will allow your sacrum to lift slightly off the ground, and you will get a small lumbar stretch. This last piece is very important. It's a muscle energy technique that helps to straighten out your hips. If you sit with your legs crossed, this won't be great for you. All you have to do is take one leg, bring it up, and then you're gonna push into that leg while simultaneously taking the opposite leg and driving the heel into the ground. You hold for about 5 seconds on each side. You may do this as many times as you feel necessary. A really great lumbar motion is the cat-cow. The whole point of this exercise is to get your lumbar spine moving, both into extension and flexion. If you want to make it more difficult, hold your core in and focus on just moving your pelvis. Tuck it under the same way that we did when we were laying on the ground. Continue to think about that tight jeans feeling. Afterwards, we can go side to side with this motion. This is a little easier to do in quadruped now that we have the free space. Afterwards, we can do our pelvic clocks just the way that we did them on the ground. But again, because we have the free space, it's a little more difficult to control. That's why someone that feels very stiff may benefit from this position due to the fact that you have more motion, versus someone that feels like they have too much motion and feels a little loosey-goosey in their joints may do better in the other position laying on the ground. Well, there you have it. That's lumbar mobility. I hope these exercises helped you. If you enjoyed this content, please feel free to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel below. Thanks again.